Good afternoon. It is Tuesday, November 11th, 2025. Happy Veterans Day. We want to express a word of appreciation to all of the men and women who have served in our armed forces. One day I was running late for an appointment. Traffic was bad. Every light was red. Everybody else on the road was in slow down mode. And I was getting more and more frustrated. I was going to be late for the appointment I had. And then I heard that terrible sound of a flat tire. Had to stop and change the tire. I arrived at the meeting late, dirty, sweaty. And a friend told me, sometimes we're not in charge of our own schedules. The Apostle Paul is continuing his description in today's passage about that person that many call the Antichrist. This is not a term that Paul uses. Paul calls him the man of lawlessness. Well, he's not in charge of his own schedule either. In 2 Thessalonians chapter 2, verses 5 through 8, and I'm reading from the New Living Translation, second edition, it says, "Don't you remember that I told you about all this when I was with you? And you know what is holding him back, for he can be revealed only when his time comes. For this lawlessness is already at work secretly, and it will remain secretly until the one who is holding it back steps out of the way. Then the man of lawlessness will be revealed, but the Lord Jesus will kill him with the breath of his mouth and destroy him by the splendor of his coming." Paul says, I told you so. I told you this when I was with you. You need to remember what you're taught. Then he reminds us that God holds his timing in God's own hands. God is in control. He's holding this man of lawlessness back. He's scheduling his timing. Some folks, they read books and they listen to podcasts, they listen to other preachers, and they get so fearful and they get so afraid of how terrible things are going to be. And they don't remember that God has everything under control and God is in charge of all of the timing. Paul says this same lawlessness is already at work in our day. Paul says in his day, he already saw that lawlessness at work. And there are always many, and our society certainly included, that conspicuously ignore the law of God. There are those who discount the law of God. There are certainly those who do not respect the law of God. Have any kind of conversation about moral issues, and you'll find quickly people who just have no respect at all for God's law. But then Paul says, when that man is revealed and everyone knows who he is, then Jesus will destroy him. The second coming of Jesus will be so magnificent, it'll be so beautiful, it'll be so glorious, that the man of lawlessness will be revealed for the terrible human being he is. I'm going to give you a little hint. I've read the last chapter. Jesus wins. And you and I can trust Jesus. And we don't need to be fearful of what may happen or who may happen, because God still has everything in control, and we can trust God to take care of us and to bring us home to Him when it's time. God bless you.